Is nationwide on the network service of the NTA. It's nice to have you join us today. I'm Hawa Salihu Adama. We start from the West African sub-region as President Muhammadu Buhari is in Bissau, attending ceremonies marking the National Day of the Republic of Guinea-Bissau. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president was accorded a befitting reception on arrival at the Osvaldo Vieira International Airport. The welcoming party also was led by the president of Guinea-Bissau, Umaru Sissoco Embalo. Also at the airport were Nigeria's ambassador to Guinea-Bissau, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Director General of the National Intelligence Agency and other senior Nigerian government officials. The president later joined the heads of state and government of Senegal, Burkina Faso, Mauritania at the elaborate independence anniversary celebration. Before leaving Bissau, President Buhari is expected to inaugurate a road named in his honor by the host government in appreciation of his significant contributions towards enhancing security, stability and democracy in the West African country. Nigeria and Guinea-Bissau established diplomatic relations in 1974. As Ondo State enters the last two critical weeks in the build-up to the governorship election, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, wants the media to emphasize the message of peace and aiding voter education. These were part of issues raised at a media interaction with the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, in Akure, the Ondo State capital. Doris Olumoko is standing by with details.
Media remains a critical stakeholder in the process of election, and therefore there is the need for continuous flow of information between the media and INEC. INEC chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu wants journalists to report any form of electoral malpractice, and while on the part of the commission, he promises that INEC will continue to remain neutral.
Will remain professional and that nothing but the votes cast by the Ondo people will determine who becomes the next governor of Ondo State.
As journalists, we have roles to play to ensure that we expose people who want to buy votes on the election day.
Other issues raised at the media parley include issues that have to do with the security of journalists while on election duty, and INEC promises to tackle that.
The input that we receive from you, from the field, is very important in order to enable us to respond to challenges as they arise during elections, and then the kind of lessons that we learn from one election to another.
And for the members of the fourth estate of the realm that is talking about journalists, they are promising that the Ondo State governorship election will be covered objectively with the ethics of the profession upheld. In Akure, Doris Olumoko, NTA News.
And while the establishment of a database on recovered assets and a central criminal justice information system is a sure step in contributing to transparency and the recovery and management of stolen assets in Nigeria, the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Conference has come up with some ideas to make the policy a holistic one. Ikechukwu Ndukwe reports.
Done all the necessary due diligence before you give an award to anybody. The legal battle between Nigeria and the UK-based company Process and Industrial Development P&ID is one that has drawn the attention of civil liberty organizations to beam their searchlights on what could be done to close all leakages in access recovery locally and internationally. Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Conference, CISLAC, believe following the Public Procurement Act will save Nigeria from corrupt practices.
National Assembly, both Senate and House of Representatives, they have Public Procurement Committee. What is the committee doing that this kind of scam will be perpetrated and they have not raised alarm? Something is wrong, even with the oversight that the National Assembly is doing when it comes to procurement. Public procurement law must work. This is the only way you can actually eliminate many multiples of corruption in procurement in Nigeria.
The conference noted that the establishment of the database on recovered assets and the Central Criminal Justice Information System may not succeed without granting access to information to all citizens, ensure accountability to locally recovered assets, and streamline agencies that can undertake assets recovery in Nigeria. In Abuja, Ikechukwu Ndukwe, NTA News.
As major economies brace up to meet the realities of emerging trends in information management and data collation, Nigeria is also towing the same path as the Institute of Information Management and the Nigerian National Accreditation System signed a Memorandum of Understanding on Information and Data Management for Economic Growth. Elizabeth Omori reports.
Synergy between the organizations will facilitate business strategies and implement processes for efficient information management, as well as build qualified professionals to help implement and interpret data for documentation and digitization of processes for various sectors of the economy.
Speaking to areas like training professionals, staffs of the government, ministries and agencies, training of even students on information management.
Promoting professionalism, standard certification in different organizations in Nigeria and across the globe.
As information remains one of the crucial components for development in critical sectors, they believe government must connect with the private sector on standardization of data and information to forestall some of the challenges confronting the nation. Elizabeth Omori.
The National Orientation Agency says it has translated the Freedom of Information Act into Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba and 20 other Nigerian languages. The Director General of NOAA, Dr. Garba Abari, said this at a stakeholders dialogue on understanding the application of Freedom of Information Act beyond the frontiers of accounting and contract. Omenka Amarachuku completes the report.
Here are stakeholders to brainstorm on understanding the application of the Freedom of Information Act, which was enacted into law in 2011. The rationale of this gathering is to ensure public participation in governance as well as lay down procedures in conducting public affairs.
We have had government and the civil society stakeholders engaging on zonal basis across the country to enhance openness at all levels of governance. The National Orientation Agency has been in the forefront of advocacy for citizens to explore the provisions of the Freedom of Information Act.
You have to put people, particularly those in authority, to task so that whoever is given any responsibility, it should be followed through and the person should be able to discharge his or her duty accordingly.
It is hoped that this engagement will enable stakeholders to assess the implementation and impact of Freedom of Information Act in various institutions by allowing NTAs with a view of contributing to openness and transparency in the governance process. In Abuja, Omenka Mrachuku, NTA News.
And our Lagos Network Center is next on our lineup today, and Ruth is our guide. It's over to you.
you, Hawa. Nigeria is already adopting international protocols on the elimination of greenhouse gas emission for sustainable shipping, but the pricing implication is of importance to operators. As the world marks Maritime Day, experts and operators are calling for a balance between pricing and enforcement in order to achieve sustainable planet. Michael Olaleye reports.
Although Nigeria is yet to fully harness the opportunities inherent in the maritime space, but records from the Nigerian Ports Authority revealed that $840 million was generated in revenue, with more than 800,000 new jobs created in 2017. When added to the 1.3 million volume of non-oil products shipped within the same period, it is a statement of fact that the maritime sector is the backbone of trade and economy.
Shipping should be sustainable if we want development.
While humanity continues to prosper from the opportunities provided by the seas and oceans, the theme for this year's Maritime Day is calling the attention of the global community to actions that might undermine sustainable shipping for the benefits of the future.
It is the duty of the government to ensure that the vessels calling Nigerian ports have less emission or zero emission.
The timeliness of this global appeal is due to the coronavirus pandemic, which has placed more constraint on the shipping sector for movement of food and drug.
Shipping activities must be balanced with the safety of life at sea, the long-term health and diversity of the oceans.
The World Maritime Day is taking a cue from the simple environmental tagline that it is what is thrown to the environment that returns to man. Hence, in order to sustain the marine ecosystem, there is a greater demand that greenhouse gas emission, marine litters, and other actions be eradicated in the interest of mother planets. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
Lagos State government has rolled out modalities for the 60th independence celebration of the country, but under strict compliance with the coronavirus pandemic safety guidelines aimed at controlling crowd and limiting of human contacts. The State Commissioner for Home Affairs stated this at a press briefing in Lagos. Nosa Osula reports.
The commissioner, in his remarks, acknowledged the resilience and survival spirit of the people in spite of the several daunting challenges the country has faced during its journey in the last 60 years of existence.
60 years of unity, despite various challenges, the Nigerian state has had to face and surmount 60 years of ongoing social economic development.
The state's Commissioner for Information and Strategy added that while the COVID-19 pandemic may have dampened the celebration mood, it is suffice to say as well that the country had fought the virus and has success stories in spite it's raging across the world.
It is not out of place to say that it all began here in Lagos. Lagos may not be the capital of Nigeria today in terms of being the political capital, but it remains the capital in terms of the economy, in terms of technology.
The Diamond Jubilee celebration of Nigeria's independence will kickstart in the state with prayers from the Muslim and Christian denominations, with the final celebration of the October 1st event to take place at the Agege Stadium with strict compliance to the COVID-19 safety rules. In Lagos, Nosa Osula, NTA News.
It's back to Hawa in Abuja for more stories on Nationwide.
Many thanks to you, Ruth. And from Lagos, we take you straight to Port Harcourt, where Governor Obaseki is on a thank you visit to Governor Wike. Jenny is our guide.
Very much, Hawa. Good evening and welcome. At 60, Nigeria ought to have evolved all spheres of national life, in line with the dreams of the founding fathers amidst expectations from the populace. These are the views of stakeholders who shared their thoughts on the progress, prospect, and challenges of nation building. Kingsley Amajiri reports.
At Nigeria's independence then, the founding fathers envisioned an egalitarian society with equal opportunities for the overall well-being of Nigerians, away from the colonial experience. 60 years down the line, issues of ethnicity, corruption, religion, and leadership malfeasance still reverberate.
There are some inherent vices we have to eschew, like greed, avarice, and nepotism.
Nigeria's democracy, we are still growing. The government, the leaders should step up their game to ensure that the life of every citizen of this country are protected.
The concerns appear to becloud the achievements recorded over the years.
If Nigeria can eschew corruption in leadership, then we will have more resources to, recreate our, manufacturing, industrialization, science and technological sector.
Concerned stakeholders want to see, through federalism, active youth engagement and constitutionalism.
The leaders should be focused and must work for the general interest of the masses.
While the theme for the 60th independence anniversary hinges on Nigeria's unity, keen watchers want an active judiciary and a proactive citizens' participation in governance for effective results. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Governor Godwin Obaseki has been advised to show magnanimity and grace to all aggrieved parties and work as never before for the people of Edo State. Governor Nyesom Wike gave the advice when Governor Obaseki and his team visited to say thank you for his support in the just concluded Edo governorship election. Ogedi Nyekwere reports.
Moved by the overwhelming support he received from the River State Governor Nyesom Wike and the entire people of River State, Governor Godwin Obaseki is in the state to thank the governor for the dogged role he played in the Edo governorship election that led to his victory. Accompanied on the visit is wife Betsy Obaseki, his deputy Comrade Philip Shalbo, and wife, National Assembly members from Edo State, top government functionaries and party stalwarts.
This house, this venue, was where it all happened. You received me like a brother who had been drenched out there in the storm. Home, you took me in, changed my clothes, and gave me food to eat.
Governor Wike appreciated God for the victory and the resilience of the Edo people. He commended Governor Obaseki for remaining resolute to fight for the interests of the Edos. Governor Wike enjoined him to extend hand of fellowship to all aggrieved parties, while taxing him to perform better than his first tenure.
This year, second tenure, don't disappoint the people of Edo State. They have so much regard now, you see. If what you have done first time is small now, now they're expecting more. Whatever it need our support, in whichever way, we're here.
High point of the visit was the presentation of the popular Bini bronze statue to Governor Wike and his wife by the wife of the Edo State Governor, Betsy Obaseki. In Port Harcourt, Ogedi Nyekwere, NTA News.
A nationwide will continue with Hawa in Abuja after the break.
Interministerial Committee for the celebration of Nigeria's 60th independence anniversary and Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, invites you to the following events. Thursday, 24th September, World Press Conference venue, Obasanjo Hall, Federal Secretariat, Phase 2, time 11 a.m. Friday, 25th, public lecture, venue, National Mosque Conference Hall, time 10 a.m. Special Jumat prayers, 1 p.m. at the same venue. Sunday, 27th, Interdenominational Church Service, National Christian Center, Abuja, time 3 p.m. Members of the public can join the church service virtually by logging on to the YouTube channel of the OSGF at Official OSGF NG. Monday 28, launch of the National Ethics and Integrity Policy as well as Integrity Award by Mr. President to commemorate the 20th anniversary of ICPC. Venue, State House, Presidential Villa, Abuja, time 10 a.m. Historical exhibition, National Press Center, Radio House, Abuja, 3 p.m. Thursday, October 1st, Guard of Honor, Anniversary Parade, Eagle Square, Abuja, time 10 a.m. Anniversary theme, Together. Please note, These events are strictly by invitation and all COVID-19 protocols will be adhered to. Chairman, Media and Publicity Subcommittee, Announcer.
NTA News 24. A 24-hour news station brings to you news and happenings 7 days a week.
News at 10 a.m., news updated 11 and 1 p.m.
News desk at 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. and late evening news at 11 p.m.
Follow us on any of our platforms and keep abreast of events and current affairs within and outside our shores.
We are on DSTV channel 419, GoTV channel 46,
StarTimes channel 101 and Free TV channel 703. Join us.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide a company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview channel 264, or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. Application for iOS or Android. Intelsat 901/332.5 degrees east. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Thanks for rejoining Nationwide. Moving on now. Beyond articulating electoral manifestos, the APC National Executive Council Integrity Group says implementing those promises is a must for public office holders. This is the basis for the commendation of the National Directorate of Employment for executing the job creation component of the APC manifesto. Onengie Fineface completes the report.
What they consider a critical assessment of the implementation of the APC electoral manifesto in the last general elections. Members of the APC Non-National Working Committee National Executive Council Integrity Group scored the National Directorate of Employment high. Now, this is informed by what the group describes as effective implementation of programs to actualize the vision of the president to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years.
Which we are praying other agencies to follow this and do what you are doing to protect the interest and image of the party. And we appreciate you for all the good projects you are initiating to support this government and to support Nigerian people, more especially your initiative of 774.
We believe whatever we give to you, definitely it will get to the grassroots. And we believe if we are able to take care of the periphery, the grassroots, it's very easy for us to control the center as far as the issue of poverty and lack of employment is concerned.
In addition to appreciating the group for the favorable assessment, the DG, National Directorate of Employment, sees the pat on his shoulder as encouragement for him to do more in promoting job creation through skills development in Nigeria. In Abuja, Onengie Fineface, NTA News.
And still on job creation, the federal government has begun the training of 100 youth on modern agricultural skills in Ebonyi State under its Sustainable Agricultural Development Training Scheme. Neka Oko covered the orientation exercise for the beneficiaries in Abakaliki.
The Sustainable Agricultural Development Scheme is an initiative of the National Directorate of Employment, NDE, designed to train unemployed youths in modern agricultural production, processing, and other agribusiness activities to enhance the food security program of the federal government, as well as create employment opportunities. The training, which is both theoretical and practical, will cover such areas as arable crops production, fishery, poultry, piggery, apiculture, small ruminant production, and agro-services.
So glad to be among the 100 people that they pick, because even in the next 20 years, I can stand on my own without anybody giving me any other support, because they are giving me the support that they need to give me as one of the members they have selected.
Before, I was seeing people that into piggery production as dirty people, but now I know that out of it I can, not only empower myself, I can empower others.
By the end of the training, the 100 beneficiaries are expected to form agricultural cooperatives. This, according to the NDE, is to enable them access linkages and financial support to be self-reliant and employers of labor.
Our desire is to continue to deploy innovative and dynamic solutions in addressing the issue of unemployment in Nigeria.
Guests, including the Executive Director, Administration and Training, Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, represented by Princess Nina Ebu, advised the beneficiaries to take the training seriously.
For those of them that don't want to take it serious, it is in their best interest to do that. Agriculture is just the way forward, and it has come to stay.
Training is to last for 3 months. From Abakaliki, Nneka Oko, NTA.
And Abubakar is on duty today in our Maiduguri Network Center, and he has the next set of reports on Nationwide. It's over to you.
Of course, Hawa. Good afternoon to you, and thanks for joining us in Maiduguri. As part of efforts to combat maternal mortality in the state, Borno State Government has presented free maternal drugs and medical consumables worth over 80 million naira to 70 primary and secondary health facilities in the state to cater for less privileged women in the society. Governor Babagana Umara presented the drugs to the health facilities at Borno Medical Store in Maiduguri. Mohammed Goni reports.
Experts in the health sector say the maternal, prenatal, and under 5-year death in Nigeria is at alarming rate, with 576 deaths for 100,000. In Borno State, the figure is well over 1,000 dead for 100,000 live births, hence the commitment on the part of the Borno State government to reverse the trend in line with Governor Zulum's 10-fact development agenda.
Large number of women are having difficulties in getting access to drugs and access to healthcare facilities during delivery. This administration is determined to provide these drugs free to less privileged women in our society.
Professor Bagana Umara raised concern about the sustainability of the program, for which he said 1 billion naira will be allocated in the 2021 budget to ensure that less privileged women continue to benefit from the program. Health Commissioner Dr. Salihu Kwayabura, represented by Dr. Buba Michelia, said the singular major investment is to complement the investment in infrastructure, human resource for health, and equipment that has been deployed across the various parts of the state. In a related development, Professor Bagana Umara has also inaugurated 2 clinics, one in Zajeri and the other at Kalumari Wards in the metropolis, as part of efforts to provide accessible and affordable healthcare delivery service in the state. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
Borno State Government has flagged off tree planting campaign for the first time in 10 years with a commitment to sustain the exercise to check the challenges associated with desertification, deforestation, and soil erosion. Governor Babagana Umara flagged off the exercise at Borno State University in Maiduguri, where he also presented gas cookers to women as part of effort to protect the environment. Here again is Mohammed Guni with more details of the story.
The tree planting campaign with the theme Trees for Restoration was in line with Governor Zulum's 10-pack agenda, which entails encouraging agroforestry and environmental restoration. Professor Bagana Umara said the state government has commenced raising of seedlings and the annual 1-kilometer desert reclamation program, which is handled by the Ministry of Environment.
Launching this laudable program of tree planting, government aims to sensitize communities, both rural and urban, to be aware of the 3 days problems of deforestation, desertification, and degradation, and their impact on the quality of human and animal lives.
The governor also added that government has henceforth made it a policy that all construction work should be accompanied by planting of trees to cushion the environmental impact of such developmental projects, and the further charge local government areas to collect assorted trees at designated areas for planting. Commissioner for Environment, Moru Buba Walama, said tree planting, which used to be an annual event in Borno, was halted due to the decade-long insurgency. He called on the governor to direct local government council to key into the program and plant trees in their areas. In a goodwill message, representative of the Federal Ministry of Environment, William Etim Okong, commended the Borno State government for the initiative, which he said will go a long way in addressing environmental challenges, and urged all to support the program. Gas cookers were presented to women as part of efforts to discourage felling of trees, and the Kashim Shetima Orchard was also established in the institution. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
And those are the latest stories. For now, from Maiduguri, Hawa in Abuja has more reports for us on Nationwide. So Hawa, it's back to you now.
Very well, Abubakar, thank you. The National Park Services is carrying out aggressive campaign on the recently signed act by President Muhammadu Buhari prohibiting trade in wildlife species and consumption, as well as the spread of zoonotic diseases at the Gwagwalada Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports.
Trade and consumption of wildlife animals have continued to constitute threat to the nation's game reserve and mount pressure on the health sector. This necessitated the act prohibiting sales and consumption of wildlife animals. One of the enforcement agencies, the National Park Service, in collaboration with NESRA and other agencies, is carrying out sensitization on the act in Gwagwalada Area Council to educate traders and citizens on the dangers they pose to health. Some of the traders appreciated the awareness campaign and promised to guide against further influx of wild animals into the market and its fringes for the safety of lives. National Park Service says the exercise is a deliberate action to ensure full enforcement of the act and educate the public on the health and economic hazards of trading in wild animals.
This is the reason we have to aggressively create this awareness and to further embark on our mandate of ensuring that wildlife traffic, particularly in wild animals, is reduced to the minimum, to the BRS minimum.
The Conservator General says the campaign will be replicated across the FCT. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
And we're not done with environmental matters, as encouraging the use of non-degradable materials and exhibiting positive attitude to the environment have been identified as necessary to check flooding and mitigate the effect of the depleting ozone layer on humans, plants and animals. Stakeholders at a sensitization rally in Ado-Ekiti said this will help overcome challenges associated with environmental hazards. Yemi Dalemo completes the report.
The use of biodegradable materials, including plastic, polythene bags, and nylon for waste disposal, no doubt contributed to the environmental degradation and flooding, causing untold hardship to residents. The stakeholder intends to change with the advocacy and sensitization program in the Ekiti State. Environmentalists such as Adefunke Anuma design reusable bags and launch its use at supermarkets and households in the Ekiti State, with the state government advised to key into the initiative for a safe and clean environment. Preserving the ozone layer, saving the environment from harmful practices, Ekiti State Commissioner for Environment Yabo Fakunle Okime said residents must change their cooling mechanism to the use of friendly and energy-efficient alternative and avoid cleaning agents with corrosive and solvents. Mrs. Fakunle Okime and Uluwachi Ebenezer said protecting the ozone layer and change of attitude, living as ambassadors for the protection of environment, will assist to prevent flooding.
When they're going to the markets, they should go with their boats, go with their baskets, go with their containers. Because the less we use nylon bags, the less they become waste on the environment.
Generally, they are ready to change for this change, and it's easier for us when we talk to them about flooding. They can feel it.
It's geared towards the state having a cleaner, healthier environment.
Sensitization on management and protecting the environment, if embraced by all, will ensure a safe and clean environment and Ekiti State at all times. In Ado Ekiti, Yemi Dalimo, NTA News.
We have more reports on Nationwide, but that will be after these messages. Do stay.
A new edition of TV Guide is out, featuring great personalities from all walks of life. Expository interview with a young TV presenter who shows passion on what she does, Morayo Afolabi Brown of TVC. Pick a copy of this compendium of mind-blowing stories and get abreast with issues as regards media convergence, leadership, health, star profiles, star programs, fashion, sports, human angle stories, and lots more. Meet some media professionals within our space who have paid their dues in no small ways. TV Guide, very incisive, very educative and compelling. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or NTA stations nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
Yes, that's the painful effect of what corruption costs you. But what does corruption cost us all? Watch Bad Guys on NTA Network, 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. every Wednesday from the Akin Fadei Foundation. Bad Guys. Who are the bad guys? Join us.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. Or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
NTA TV College Jos, an affiliate of Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, is currently admitting students for its ordinary diploma programs in television journalism, television production, and television engineering. Interested candidates are advised to obtain relevant information concerning eligibility at our website at www.ntatvc.edu.ng or marketing department of any NTA station nationwide. For further information, contact Assistant Director, Marketing, NTA TV College Jos on 0803-314-4383 or the Academic Office of the College on 0806-980-9807. Announcer, Registrar.
It's still nationwide. President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has condoled with families and victims of the fuel tanker explosion that occurred on Wednesday this week in Lokoja. In a statement by the Special Advisor to the President of the Senate on Media and Publicity, Ola Awoni, Senator Lawan expressed grief over the gruesome accident while mourning those who lost their lives. He prayed for the speedy recovery of the injured, as well as for constant review of road safety regulations. The Senate President also extended his condolences to the government and people of Kogi State over the tragic incident. First Lady Aisha Buhari has distributed relief materials to flood victims in Niger State with optimism of cushioning the effects of the hardship of those affected. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir completes the report.
Niger State, like some states in Nigeria, is also affected by the recent flood, ravaging many communities, leaving the victims devastated and seeking for serious intervention. It is in response to this, the First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Muhammad Buhari, brought succor to them. Areas visited by a future Ashua team include Maitumbi, Flamingo area of Mina, Darussalam, Fajire Kuturko, Onguan Rahama, and Tungam Farm Center. The victims benefited from the items such as rice, toiletries, assorted foods, cooking oil, and other essential commodities.
We are here to commiserate with the people of Niger State, with the victims of the floods, and the idea behind our commiseration, or the First Lady's commiseration, is to come to the aid of these victims.
We are saying a very big thank you to Her Excellency, the wife of the President, Hajia Aisha Buhari, for this wonderful, kind gesture. We really appreciate the timely intervention, and you can see it is glaring. The people that benefited are happy.
With the excitement on their faces for this laudable gesture, the victims are calling on the relevant authorities to expedite actions towards doing everything possible to address the challenges of drainage system and other related issues in their areas to allow free flow of water for the avoidance of future occurrence of the flooding. In Mina, Niger State, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the National Emergency Management Agency is intensifying efforts to forestall incidents of flooding has been experienced in some parts of the country. The Director General of the agency, Muhammadu Alhaji Mohammed, said this at an enlightenment campaign in Owerri. Chukubike Chiku has more.
The National Emergency Management Agency team is in Imo State for the 2020 flood awareness campaign to raise the consciousness of the people on handling possible flood disaster. The flood awareness campaign became necessary sequel to the red alert by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency on possible repeat of the 2012 flood disaster. The agency and other sister agencies are intensifying efforts to prevent flooding across the country.
Directing the State Management Emergency Agency, the local government authorities, and other stakeholders to prepare to tackle the flood emergency.
Secretary to Imo State Government, Kasmas Iwu, says the state has put in place measures to avert incident of flooding.
Each year, government spends a lot of money rehabilitating them. And that is why I thank you for coming, because they said early warning is the best advocacy.
The flood awareness campaign team also took a tour of the emergency units of the 34th Field Artillery Brigade, Obinze, and 211 Quick Response Unit of the Nigerian Air Force Base, Owerri. In Owerri, Chukubike Jugu, NTA News.
A group known as the Host Communities of Nigeria Producing Oil and Gas is consolidating its move to ensure that entitlements such as the 13% derivation allocation are delivered directly to the communities through a special purpose vehicle. Ikechukwu Ndukwe reports.
It has been a battle for host communities producing oil and gas in Nigeria to have direct access of the 13% derivation allocation provided for by law to attend to issues of underdevelopment in these communities.
We discover that it is an error that 13% derivation is given its channel from the federal government to the state government to the local government. And that is against the law. We are saying that 30% derivation is for the host community where the oil is being derived from.
The money is for mineral resources derived from the communities. And so the federal government will be right to take that money, set up a special purpose vehicle, and then appoint people to manage the special purpose vehicles and ask the state government, perhaps if they're willing, to contribute people to that, to manage it so that we can have peace.
The host communities has met with the president and is following up to ensure quicker implementation. In Abuja, Ikechukwu Ndukwe, NTA News.
Now, count down to October 1, when Nigeria will clock 60 years. Guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria say good governance and reorientation of all citizens are necessary to further strengthen national integration. The guest explained that if Nigerians come to a consensus on the structure and system of governance, the country will fulfill the dreams of its founding fathers. Olusheye Adeagbo completes the report.
There is an area that's critical for national integration.
And what's that area?
It is called justice, equity, fairness. It boils down to leadership. It also comes to structure.
Former Nigerian ambassador to Switzerland explaining requirements needed for nation building in an environment where patriotism and nationalism are central. Other guests insist that in ushering the country out of the pre-independent mindset of just a geographical nation to a nation bounded in all areas beyond geography requires serious contributions from all, especially the leadership.
Let them please remove personalities, self-interest in political parties.
Good governance is not just about one person, about president or governor or whatever. It's an integrated process, again, to use that word, integration. So it's something that we have to continuously work at.
They also applauded the different policies and programs of governments since independence, such as the equal representation of the National Assembly, National Youth Service Corps, the establishment of federal government schools, among others, describing them as efforts that have helped in forging bonds of unity.
Why don't we expand them and make it possible for anybody to become anything, anywhere? Abolish this settler indigent dichotomy. In fact, take away the state of origin thing from all official forms.
Responses from NTA German Twitter Ondo also agreed with comments by the guests. Their submissions suggest that despite the challenges affecting national integration in Nigeria, there are still many reasons to celebrate the country's 60th anniversary. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
And a report just in says the federal government has unveiled events lined up to commemorate Nigeria's 60th anniversary at a media briefing in Abuja. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed said that the celebration will last through to the 30th of September next year. Over now to Anthony Forsen.
Flanked by the Ministers of Communication and Digital Economy, Isa Ali Pantami, and that of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, Lai Mohammed said the 60th Independence celebration, which will be low-keyed, begins with a public lecture on Friday, 25th at 10 o'clock in the morning and will be followed with a special Jumat prayers at the National Mosque. On Sunday, 27th, there will be an interdenominational church service at the National Christian Center, Abuja, by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Members of the public, the minister said, can join the church service virtually by logging on to the YouTube channel at OFFICIALOSGFN. On Monday, 28 September by 10 o'clock in the morning, there will be the launch of the National Ethics and Integrity Award by President Muhammadu Buhari to commemorate the 20th anniversary of the ICPC at the State House. There will also be a historical exhibition Sunday by 3 o'clock in the afternoon at the National Press Center, Radio House, Abuja. On Thursday, October 1st, there will be the presidential broadcast from the presidential villa, and later at 10 o'clock, there will be the Guard of Honor and anniversary parade at the Eagle Square.
The 60th Independence Anniversary celebration will be low-key, as Mr. President has already announced. Of course, this is not unconnected with the COVID-19 global pandemic, which has forced some safety protocols on nations around the world. Therefore, the pomp and pageantry that should have marked the celebration will be largely missing.
The theme for the celebration is Together, and for the minister, the theme is apt, Nigeria having survived a civil war, years of political crisis, daunting security challenges, including religious and ethnic crises.
The age of 60 is seen at the beginning of a new cycle of life, and it's usually well marked. For Nigeria as a country, the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari offers a new beginning. The administration is working assiduously to build a new Nigeria, laying the building blocks for industrial and technological development by building massive infrastructures in the areas of power, roads, bridges, rail, etc.
To this end, the minister disclosed that some events that will come up in the course of the year will be announced as the year unfolds. In Abuja, Anthony Forsen, NTA.
Now to the latest on COVID-19. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has confirmed 111 new cases of COVID-19. A breakdown shows that the cases are from 11 states and the Federal Capital Territory. They are Lagos, 31, Gombe and Kaduna, 18 each. The Federal Capital Territory, 15, Rivers, 14, Imo, Kwara and Oyo, recording 3 cases each. Others are Bayelsa and Ogun with 2 each, while Edo and Osun have 1 case each. This brings the total number of confirmed cases to 57,724. Those discharged currently stand at 48,985, while 1,102 deaths have so far been recorded, unfortunately. The menace of drug abuse and its adverse consequences was the focus at a deliberation of key players in the religious and administrative sectors of the Federal Capital Territory. Francis Form reports that one of the major points from the workshop is that of the possibility of recovery through drug control measures.
For some time now, issues around drug abuse have been a recurring decimal, with more youths getting involved. Worried by this negative trend, Youth Rise Nigeria is intensifying its campaign to discourage the ugly trend through capacity building of youths in the FCT.
An effective drug prevention response, of course, is one that gives young people the right information about drug use, Let them even understand the effects of these drugs, Also help young people build strong life skills, strong decision-making skills,
Let them know that this is what will happen. This is the cause effect of drugs. Then they know this. They are more likely to make informed decisions when peer pressure come on top of them.
Participants are of the view that the workshop is timely and hopeful that it will achieve the desired impact.
Not to stigmatize drug users, but to see how they can support drug users and help them to get the necessary care and love that they need to come out of any situation they have.
As we go out to the society, we try to cascade it down to people so that they can know the misuse of drug.
Youth Rise Nigeria is an acronym for Youth Initiative for Drug Research Information, Supports and Education for Reducing Harm Related to Drug Use. In Abuja, Francis Form, NTA News.
The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, says that the Nigerian Air Force is poised to effectively advance the course of tackling all forms of security threats in the country in line with global best practices. He said this during the inauguration of the newly reactivated aerospace ground equipment and bulk fuel installation in Makurdi, the Benue State capital. Husseini Mohammed Isa reports.
The aerospace ground equipment were fully reactivated and put to operational status by the 131 Engineering Group of the Nigerian Air Force Base Makurdi. Also, the bulk fuel installation was completely overhauled by the engineering group. The Air Force engineers equally produced a man-portable rocket launcher suitable for all forms of operations and ground fire. Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar said the reactivated aerospace ground equipment will be deployed to the northeast to combat terrorism.
From what I have seen is that the unit here is taking the right steps in ensuring that we get what we require in terms of equipment in preparation for the arrival of additional platforms, aircraft that the federal government has acquired for us.
Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar also inspected some ongoing projects in the Air Force Base Makurdi. Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar also delivered a lecture to middle cadre officers who are undergoing training at the Air Force Staff College in Makurdi. From the Air Force Base here in Makurdi, I am Hussein Mohammed Isa, NTA News.
From Makurdi, we go to Niger State, where communities ravaged by flood are appealing for more support from relevant government agencies as the flood has taken over their homes. Musa Baba Aliyu visited one of the communities in Lavon local government area of the state.
to the Nigerian Meteorological Agency NIMET's prediction of the occurrence of flood in some states of the Federation, 11 communities along the River Niger in Borgu local government area of Niger State have been affected. Some residents of the riverine communities who reacted to the incident say the flood was as a result of water spill from the Kayenji Dam occasioned by the heavy downpour. I'm facing a very difficult situation. I'm appealing to government to come to our aid. The flood destroyed our farm crops. We were informed by our emir, but before then, we have planted our crops. Others on the flood-prone areas attest to taking precautionary measures given them during sensitization on the possibilities of flooding. The flood destroyed our farms and we lost women and children in the process. The flooding resulted in loss of lives and property, destruction of farms, and damage to houses. Disaster Officer Borgu Local Government, Musa Kidebi, who spoke on the council's role in mitigating disaster occurrence in the area, appealed to the people in the riverine communities to move to safer upland area. It is a clear indication that more sensitization and awareness campaign need to be done to the communities located along River Niger to forestall unpleasant experiences in the event of a flood. In Gungumbusa, Borgu local government area of Niger State, Abdullah Ibrahim, NTA News.
That was actually Abdullah Ibrahim reporting from Niger State. Sports now. Football administrators optimistic about Super Eagles' readiness for future glory. Tamara Ebiwe completes that report for us.
Invited players for the October international friendlies against Tunisia and Côte d'Ivoire are to see the invitation as an avenue to sharpen their skills and impress football-loving Nigerians as sporting activities gradually return to the world due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
And I believe that list is okay, 95% okay as far as we are concerned. But we're asking that General should continue to give us those people, those players who are in their top form.
COVID is out and they are now back playing this kind of friendly matches across the globe. It's going to be a very good start for them.
In the meantime, 9 players from Ilorin-based Kwara United are now recuperating at a specialist hospital after testing positive for coronavirus. The COVID-19 team in Kwara State recently conducted tests for all players and staff of the club at their stadium complex office. However, officials of the club say there's no cause for alarm. In boxing, former world heavyweight champion Mike Tyson has revealed he will love to fight WBO heavyweight winner Anthony Joshua in a charity exhibition despite a 24-year age gap. Mike Tyson, which has dramatically transformed his body under coach Rafael Cordero, will face Roy Jones Jr. in an 8-round pay-per-view spectacle on November 28. Tamara Ebiwe, NTA News.
And that's nationwide today. Remember, rape is evil. Let's condemn it. And COVID-19 is real. Let's stay safe. Thanks for being part of today's Nationwide. Good evening.